Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
We start tonight's broadcast with the latest on what some are calling the Facebook killer. Good evening, I'm Lily Bradley. Thanks for joining us. Police are offering a $50,000 reward for anyone with information on the whereabouts of Steve Stevens, the so-called Cleveland Facebook killer. Police say Stevens recorded himself shooting and killing 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. yesterday. That video was then uploaded to Facebook. The victim was chosen at random. Now police are searching in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, and Michigan for Stevens. Later in the show, we'll give you more details on the case and have input from a local social media expert. Athens City Council members will likely pass a resolution tonight to oppose proposed budget cuts to the Appalachian Regional Commission. At last week's meeting, council members reacted to President Donald Trump's proposed budget that would eliminate funding for the commission. City Council President Christine Nisley says the commission plays an important role in strengthening economic growth in Athens and Southeast Ohio.
The poverty rates are higher, the education rates are lower, the health rates are riskier, and so I think all of those things could be made, those conditions would stand with.
The Regional Commission was created in 1965 and has provided millions of dollars to the city of Athens and Ohio University throughout the years. It's an ambitious goal, but one Athens business development group is hoping to attract thousands of high-wage jobs to Athens County. The economic plan was drafted by the Athens County Economic Development Council. Last March, the group hired business development consultants to complete the plan with goals they hope to achieve in the next 5 years.
It might sound like a fairy tale, but Athens County has a pretty good track record.
Over the last 5 years, they've had 1,149, I think, jobs created, and 2,500 jobs would essentially double that, so about 12% growth. I think that it's aggressive, but I think that it is achievable.
Making that achievable will involve increasing the council's budget, using the Ridges as a retail, residential, and office center, developing 2 industrial parks, and purchasing the fairgrounds in West Union to use for business development.
It's ambitious, so we're going to stretch and see how well we achieve it. If you don't have any benchmarks, you don't know where you're going to be or how you're going to get there, and so you have to have something to strive for. So I think it's an ambitious plan, but if we get it achieved, it'll be tremendous input for the county.
Though some say the plan to bring jobs to Athens is aggressive but achievable, others have a few concerns.
I am a little concerned about the lack of flexibility maybe by local government to do tax abatements. I mean, if you look at Columbus or any of the big cities, there's a lot of tax abatements.
Now, in addition to attracting new jobs, the plan hopes to cut the child poverty rate by 5 points and increase per capita income by 15%. And again, that's all just in the next 5 years. Things are changing on the west side of Athens. Westside Wingery is moving their dinner services to their sister restaurant, Fluff Bakery, on Court Street. Fluff will still sell their signature food, and in the evening will switch its menu to the Westside Wingery dinner menu. This transition will begin after graduation. The owner announced the changes via Facebook and said a new Italian restaurant will be taking over the old space on the west side of Athens. A small group of pro-gun Ohioans staged an open carry education walk through Uptown Athens early Saturday. Their march right in the midst of the annual International Street Fair. The armed activists were followed by a uniformed OU police officer as they walked down Court Street. Organizers of the International Street Fair held an emergency meeting Friday night after rumors of the protest began to circulate. However, ISU decided to continue plans for the fair despite word of the relatively peaceful planned disruption. Ohio schools are struggling to get students vaccinated and keep records of those who have been immunized. The Dayton Daily reports that 75% of Ohio elementary schools missed the state vaccination document deadline. Now, around 30% of the students started the 2016-2017 school year without all needed shots documented. Health officials say students who don't receive shots put those who can't be vaccinated in jeopardy. However, when it comes to high school graduation, Athens is better than the state average. The Post reports more than 90% of Athens high school seniors received a diploma in 2016. The statewide graduation rate was 83%. Athens High School principal David Hanning says over 95% of the class of 2017 are expected to graduate. This, as the Columbus Dispatch revealed only 66% of Ohio's current juniors are on track to graduate. Hanning says it's too premature to estimate the Athens 2018 graduation rate.
Well, good evening from the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm forecaster Ethan Emery, and temperatures right now are still pretty warm here in Athens. I have a temperature right now of 68 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, and those winds are out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Dew point at a dry 37 degrees, and that pressure is kind of steady at 30.11 inches. And across the region, temperatures are kind of holding steady because of cloud cover. You have 71 in Columbus, 70 in Jackson, and 69 in Marietta. And like I said, the cloud cover on the satellite I show you right here, it was clear at noon, but at 5 o'clock, that cloud cover is in the area because of storms down in Texas. Yes, the cloud cover we're seeing right now is because of storms in Texas. Now overnight tonight, those cloud covers should be clearing out. I say by 4 a.m., temperatures will be down around 47 degrees with clear skies. Back to you, Lily.
Thanks, Ethan. Police have announced a $50,000 reward for information on an Ohio man who allegedly shot and killed an elderly father and grandfather, then posted the video of the shooting on social media. He's now the subject of a vast manhunt. Kim Hutcherson has the latest on the search.
37-year-old Steve Stevens, accused of shooting an elderly man and posting video of the killing on Facebook, is now the subject of a multi-state manhunt.
We're going to make this individual's world very, very, very small.
Police said Stevens' phone last pinged in Pennsylvania.
Our federal partners, our local partners have reached out to their contacts all over the country, and this is what we would consider a national search.
Information is emerging about the victim, 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. He was a retired foundry worker with 9 children and 14 grandchildren. He enjoyed fishing and had just finished an Easter meal when he encountered Stevens Sunday.
Obviously, he's got deep issues. He committed a heinous crime in this city, and we want to get him off the streets as soon as possible.
Officials urged caution when donating to the victim's family, noting that there are several fake GoFundMe accounts. They also had a warning for anyone assisting the suspect.
If there's somebody that's helping Steve, or if you think you're helping Steve, you're really not. You're going to get yourself in trouble along with him. The only way for you to help him is to give us the information to bring him in safely, peacefully.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Authorities describe Stevens as 6'1", weighing 244 pounds. He was last seen driving a white Ford Fusion with temporary tags. They say he is considered armed and dangerous. Now, this afternoon, I spoke with Ohio University's social media expert, Dr. Karen Riggs, about her take on the Facebook shooting.
I think the power of social media is, of course, in the hands of the user, but so many cultural forces and circumstances put people in situations where their behavior is going to be affected by the tools that are available.
Dr. Riggs believes this will impact the younger generation of Americans the greatest, as they have grown up with social media. She encourages all parents and guardians to talk with their children about the importance of practicing safe social media. Human skeletal remains have been found near a campsite in McConnellsville. Authorities say a man searching for mushrooms found the bones Saturday. The sheriff's office also says personal items were found with the remains, but they aren't releasing details. The coroner's office is conducting an autopsy to identify the remains. Moving to the Capitol, Justice Gorsuch's first day on the job. We'll tell you what's on his agenda during his first week on the bench. And eggs were rolling in Washington, D.C. today, despite the rising tensions with North Korea halfway around the world. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back, Oprah.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
and the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
As the Trump administration nears the end of its first 100 days, it's dealing with an international challenge that appears to be getting more complicated by the day. What to do with North Korea's nuclear provocations? It comes as Vice President Pence visits the region and offering tough talk to the North Korean leaders. Kristen Holmes is in Washington with the latest on this delicate diplomatic situation.
While Easter eggs were rolling at the White House Monday,
happy Easter and have a great, great time.
Halfway around the world in South Korea, Vice President Mike Pence was rolling out a new warning to the North Korean regime.
All options are on the table. North Korea would do well not to test his resolve or the strength of the armed forces of the United States in this region.
The vice president on a 10-day trip to the region, arriving in Seoul just hours after North Korea's failed missile test over the weekend. During a dramatic visit to the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, Pence saying the Trump White House may not show the restraint of previous administrations.
We're going to abandon the failed policy of strategic patience.
Ramping up pressure on China to take a more aggressive stance.
We've seen China begin to take some actions to bring pressure on North Korea, but there needs to be more.
The president tweeting about China's role in the situation over the weekend, and on Monday firing off another verbal warning shot to North Korea.
Hi, Mr. President. Behave.
Trump also reiterating that he hopes the situation can be solved peacefully. The president's national security advisor echoing that stance, but also highlighting the urgency of the threat.
This problem is coming to a head, and so it's time for us to undertake all actions we can, short of a military option, to try to resolve this peacefully.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
The vice president's visit came amid heightened tensions of North Korea attempting and failing to launch a missile in a test Saturday, and the United States Navy sending an aircraft carrier and accompanying ships to the region. New Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch's first week is off to a busy start. Gorsuch took the bench today for 2 weeks of oral arguments that include a significant religious liberty case. It is a busy week as the justices will decide whether to add some important cases for next term. They will announce opinions Tuesday and Wednesday, and they will hear arguments for the last scheduled sitting of the term. Last week, the justices held their regular closed-door conference to discuss pending petitions. Gorsuch did not participate, presumably because he needed time to adjust. Hundreds of thousands of people lined the streets for the 121st annual Boston Marathon this morning. More than 30,000 runners competed this year. Now, according to Boston's mayor, security was tight. This year, they used drones to help them keep an eye on the 26.2-mile race. It's been 4 years since the 2013 bombings. 3 people died and more than 200 others were injured when a pair of bombs went off near the finish line. On Wall Street today, stocks maintained positive territory despite a 3-day losing streak and mounting tensions between the U.S. and North Korea. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. Spring has sprung, and so have those seasonal allergies. We have tips for you on how to manage allergies this season. That story still ahead.
And clearing skies overnight tonight, but followed by rain midweek. Find out the details coming up next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Oh, bro.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm forecaster Ethan Emery, and temperatures right now in Athens still pretty warm, 68 degrees right now with mostly cloudy skies. Those winds are the north at 6 miles per hour. Dew point at a dry 37 degrees, and that pressure is kind of steady at 30.11 inches. Now the cloud cover you see on the satellite image right here, all this cloud cover all the way down from Texas. Yes, the high thin cloud cover you see is from Texas, but it'll be clearing out overnight tonight. Almanac does show for today the high actually reached 73 degrees here in Athens, 10 degrees above average, and then our low was way above average at 59 degrees, almost, well actually it is 20 degrees above average for this time of year. The records were untouched. And overnight tonight, temperatures begin falling down only after the cloud cover leaves. By 8 p.m. 65, midnight 54, and then by 4 a.m. 47 degrees with mostly clear skies in the area. And then tonight's low here in Athens, 44 degrees with mostly clear skies. Those winds fairly light out of the north at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And overnight lows across the region, I do have mid to upper 40s. 44 in Newark, 50 down in Ironton, and then 42 up here in Cambridge, the coolest spot here in the Athens region. Now, all of this is because of this stalling stationary front right here, and this low pressure right here, kind of giving in some of that cloud cover I showed earlier. And then for tomorrow, you can see that we have warm air coming in from the south and west. And that low pressure just to the southwest is kind of staying there, which is going to bring in some more muggy air. As you get a little bit closer, you can see clear skies for tonight. And then for tomorrow, I have some cloud cover coming in late tomorrow evening as that low pressure begins to move off to the north and east. So tomorrow morning at the bus stop, 48 degrees with sunny skies. Outdoor recess is a must if you're going out between lunch for those kids. And then for tomorrow's hour by hour, beautiful day. 66 degrees by noon, and then by 4 o'clock, 76 degrees. And then for our official high tomorrow in Athens, 77 degrees. And across the region, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s, even a couple 80s down here by the Ohio River. Beautiful day to go outside, do anything. And then for tomorrow night, if you're going to go to Cincinnati to watch the Reds game, or if you're just watching it at home, 72 degrees will be for that first pitch, and clouds will be increasing late. For 7-day forecast does show a chance of rain for both Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday will be a washout potentially, and then cooler temperatures coming in for Friday, and then Saturday, more rain and cooler temperatures yet again. Back to you.
Thanks, Ethan. For many of us, allergy season can mean misery with a capital M. But doctors say you don't necessarily have to give up and suffer through it. Martha Shade has more in today's Health Minute.
Springtime may bring beautiful flowers, green grass, and budding trees, but for allergy sufferers, it can mean weeks of feeling lousy from the pollen.
I typically wake up in the morning, have kind of a scratchy throat, my sinuses are filled up, and a lot of times my eyes are swollen and red.
Allergy medicine may help with mild to moderate symptoms.
If you're suffering from runny nose, sneezing, and itchy eyes, I will recommend an antihistamine medication for your symptoms. But if nasal congestion is an issue, then it's a decongestant that may be more helpful.
And if you think ahead and start these meds before you even experience symptoms, you may keep them away or reduce their severity. When these efforts don't seem to be helping, it may be time for allergy shots.
Allergy shots are nice in that they help you build an immunity to the things you're allergic to, so that over time we see a decrease in symptoms.
It can also help to keep the windows closed and the AC on to reduce your exposure to pollen. Another tip, take a shower when you get in if you've been outdoors for a while. This will wash away excess pollen. For today's Health Minute, I'm Martha Shade.
The National Allergy Bureau encourages people to talk to their doctors to help manage spring symptoms and determine which medications work best for you.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Clark Woolley. Both the Ohio baseball and softball teams struggled this past weekend. We'll take a look at that. Plus, an overtime loss last night. The Blue Jackets are on the brink of a playoff elimination. We'll take a look at last night's game and much more next on Newswatch. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
This spring on PBS, get a fresh variety of fantastic stories, including the return of your favorite midwives.
You're back. Barbara.
An epic telling of World War I.
The modern version of the United States is born out of this war.
An amazing escape.
We're picking up 2 hot spots.
There is something there.
And the struggles of wartime women.
We are all fighting in our own way.
All this and more, all this spring, only on PBS.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back. I'm Clark Woolley. Ohio golf senior Peyton White continues his dominance. White secured his second tournament win in the last 3 Ohio golf outings, with his most recent being this past weekend at the Rutherford Intercollegiate Tournament. White finished the weekend with an overall score of 209, which left him at 4 shots under par by tournament's end. As a team, the Bobcats finished 8th overall in what was their 4th regular season tournament. Up next for Ohio, the MAC Championship. It will start on April 28th and go through the 30th, taking place in Nashport, Ohio. Now, it's been a rough stretch for Ohio softball. The Bobcats have lost 7 of their last 10 games and have been held scoreless in 3 of them. Ohio dropped 2 of the last 3 to Akron this past weekend, and this series marks the 3rd consecutive series the Bobcats have lost to MAC opponents. Ohio softball will take a much-needed break from MAC play before they travel across the river to face Marshall for one game tomorrow afternoon. Ohio softball isn't the only team in Athens struggling on the diamond, as Ohio baseball was swept by Eastern Michigan this past weekend. The series sweep marks Ohio's 2nd in just a 2-week span. Bobcats allowed an atrocious 32 runs in 3 games. A bright spot, however, was the play of sophomore infielder Rudy Rott, who played out of his mind. Rott hit 4 home runs and had 12 runs batted in throughout the series. Bobcats are now 3-6 in conference play and 16-19 overall. It's panic time for Blue Jack fans far and wide after the Pittsburgh Penguins defeated Columbus 5-4 in overtime Sunday night. The Penguins came back from a 3-1 deficit to eventually take a 4-3 lead and eventually stun the 19,000 packed into Nationwide Arena. The Penguins were led by 22-year-old Jake Gunsel, who notched a hat trick while scoring the game's opening and closing goals. The Blue Jackets look to start the comeback tomorrow night. Puck drops at 7:30. Now, a familiar face to Southeast Ohio put on a show this past Saturday as Ohio State welcomed 80,000 fans into the Shoe for its annual spring game. Former Athens star Joe Burrow, who finds himself in a compelling position battle for backup quarterback, posted crazy numbers while leading the Scarlet team to the scrimmage victory. Burrow would finish with 260 yards through the air and 3 touchdowns, making Urban Meyer's job that much tougher. Now, from the gridiron to the hardwood, where the defending champion Cleveland Cavaliers are set to take on the Indiana Pacers in the second game of the 2017 NBA playoffs opening round. After barely escaping Game 1 with a 109-108 victory, the Cavs look to go up 2-0 before heading to Indiana. Unfortunately for the Pacers, history is not on their side, as LeBron James has never lost a first-round series and is 45-7 in opening round games. Yikes. Tip-off is set for 7. The Cleveland Indians will look to end their offensive struggles as they travel to Minnesota to open a 4-game series with the Twins. The defending AL champions are 11th in the league in batting average and 14th in the league in runs scored. Looking for Indians fans, the Twins fall below the Tribe in both of those statistical categories. Francisco Lindor has been the lone bright spot for the Tribe offense as he leads the Indians in 4 of the 5 major offensive categories. First pitch is set for 8:10. I'm Clark Woolley, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Lily.
Thanks, Clark. Do you like coffee but hate what it does to your teeth? Well, a new brew may be your answer. This is CLR-CFF, and it's a British-based coffee that says it's the first colorless coffee on the market. Now, according to the company, the coffee is made from Arabica coffee beans and pure water, and it's produced by what is called methods which have never before been used. The coffee is available for purchase online at clrcff.com, but it's not cheap. A 2-pack costs about $7.50.
And a last look at weather. Tonight, 44 degrees for a low here in Athens with mostly clear skies. Light winds out of the north at 0 to 5 miles per hour. But then for tomorrow, a high of 77 degrees and mostly sunny skies. Those winds will still be light. And then throughout the day tomorrow, beautiful day. By noon, 66, and then by 4 o'clock, 76 degrees. A few clouds could be increasing in the afternoon and evening hours, but most of all, there'll be mostly clear skies and a beautiful day, like I said. So chance of rain on Wednesday, and then a heavier chance of rain on Thursday with thunderstorms, and then cooler temperatures for both Friday and Saturday. A wet weekend, but then next week, temperatures will be around average for this time of year.
Thanks, Ethan. Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Lily Bradley. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.